Good day, everyone, and welcome to another enlightening episode of Actually Speaks, a podcast initiative by Jai Hind College aimed at educating and inspiring the next generation of professionals. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Ms. Chitra Jaisimha. She is a senior consulting actuary and a founder of Universal Actuaries and Benefit Consultants. With years of experience in the actuarial science and employee benefit, and is the chairperson of Board National Pension System, which is NPS, a fellow of Institute of Faculties of Actuary UK FIA and the Institute of Actuaries of India FIAI. Ms. Chitra has worked across multiple countries and is a member of advisory group on the pension and employee benefit at the Institute of Actuaries of India. Ms. Chitra is an inspiration for all of us, for all the aspiring actuaries. Ms. Chitra, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Archita. And I'm also very happy to be a part of this interview.
Yeah. So to begin with, could you walk us through your journey from qualifying as an actuary to establishing yourself as a practicing actuary?
So actually, I started my actuarial career quite late. I started, studying probably into my mid-30s, in fact, not like the early 20s, which the kids these days do. So I started studying. I worked in LIC. I started my career in Life Insurance Corporation of India as a administrative officer. So I think sometime when the insurance sector opened up in 1999, so then I started studying for my actuarial course. So I kind of started it late, but I cleared it really fast. I cleared around, in those days it was around 17 papers, unlike today which is only 30. I cleared those 17 papers in nearly 4.5 years I could say. So it was pretty fast. I cleared all the papers in first attempt except the last one. So which I took another one at. So I think there was this focus to clear papers, so I was studying all the time. So that is me qualifying as an actuary. So I then post that I kind of quit my Life Insurance Corporation of India job and I joined Exide Life, which was erstwhile ING Life. I started off as a valuation actuary in Exide Life. So then I was in Bangalore then. Then my husband got transferred to Mumbai, so I also came to Mumbai and joined a UK annuity firm called Paternoster. This Paternoster was basically under IFOA. So I was a valuation actuary doing valuations under FSA regulations. So it was really interesting because the regulations were different and UK is a very advanced country with respect to actuarial work. So I got to do valuations under a very different regime, which was very complex. So I think those 3 years which I worked for Paternoster, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of different things like MCEV and also economic capital valuations, etc., which was very interesting. The company kind of shut down Paternoster. So then I joined Swiss Re in India as a reinsurance actuary. Then after that, I joined Mercer and then Aon. Both of these are employee benefit consulting firms. So in Mercer, I was heading the actuarial practice for India with respect to employee benefits, and I was a lead actuary. In Aon, I was heading the practice for India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. So that's when I went up and met up with clients. I was responsible for the business for India. So that was really an interesting time. Post Aon, I decided not to work with a corporate and decided to set up my own practice. So that was in 2017 end. So until now, and then I've become a consulting actuary and it's my own firm. So that's how my journey became as a corporate actuary to a consulting actuary.
Yeah, that's incredibly inspiring. What's the main difference between practicing as an actuary and working a corporate job?
So I think, in a corporate, everything else is taken care of. Your HR, you have a good HR system, you have an accounting system, there's a process in place already. So you're just joining a system with an established process. So you're not really responsible for any of those side functions. So you come there with a purpose. Like if I look at the jobs at Mercer and Aon, I was heading the actuarial practice. So my purpose was to to look at all the clients to actually manage all the clients. So I had to manage clients and also bring in clients, but I had an ecosystem around it. So I didn't have to bother about the ecosystem. All I had to do was deliver a specific job. So that actually became a single point, and it's more simpler. And also you get the salary, and salary fixed, you get month on month. You don't have to think that where the salary is going to come from. So I think there's a lot of support system around when you work as a corporate actuary. But when you set up your own actuarial firm, it's a different thing altogether, because you're responsible for everything. So I just remember that when I set up my actuarial firm, I had to go and decide what is the computers I will buy, what is the software I need to use, how many staff I need to take, and what is the setup process I have, what is the HR processes I need to set up, and of course the most important thing is the clients, because why would the clients come to you, right? The clients, you need to have a kind of name in the you're not an established name, you're just a startup, right? So the clients will have to believe in you first to actually give you the business. So I think that is a major difference between a corporate actuary and you're setting up your own firm.
That's insightfully overview. What are the biggest pros and cons of starting your own actuarial firm?
That's what I mentioned, right? Because if the biggest, I'll just start with cons and then I'll go with the pros. The cons are you're responsible for everything. You have to set up a process, right? Your HR, your accounting, you have to set up the establishment, you have to go and find the offices, and everything is on your head. And of course, when you're working, when you're in a corporate, you get a steady income, and you're taken care of. But whereas when you set up a firm, you're not going to get that steady income. And plus, when you hire staff and you have some establishment expenses, everything comes out from your own funding. And also, you also need to find out how you can build the business in order to sustain these expenses. So which is the biggest thing, which means that you have to find clients. So that is a major challenge with respect to having your own actuarial. That is a con. But the pros are really exciting because you start to create something of your own. It is like giving birth to a baby and seeing it grow. And that is nothing more satisfying than that. I can say that because when you're working as a corporate actuary, you always think what is next for you because it is never your own. But when you set up your own business, it is your own baby and you want to see it grow and grow and grow. And you do anything to make it successful. So I think that is the biggest pro with respect to having your own actuarial firm, and sky is the limit because you don't put a limit to yourself. You kind of do anything to get the business, and you learn a lot. I can say that you learn a lot because, for example, I was mostly an employee benefits actuary, and so I started taking up life insurance and general insurance jobs as well. I'm appointed actuary for Sanima Reliance Life, so I started learning. So that's when I realized that when you are setting up on your own, you can take up any kind of assignment you want and you learn on the job and you kind of want to do it. So your knowledge base increases a lot, and also your perspective increases, and of course, and you have to network in order to get more clients. You become an all-rounded person when you're setting up your own practice.
Very true, very true. So what traits should a new actuary have to succeed in running their own practice?
So I think you have to have very open mind. You cannot kind of say that I will do this or I will do that. And plus, as for me as an example, I was doing more employee benefits, but once I set up my practice, I started learning every actuarial aspect, whether be it investment, whether be it life insurance, whether be it general insurance. I kind of expanded the whole area of actuarial domain. So that is one thing which an actuary should do who wants to set up their own act. Secondly, on networking. So as an actuary, we are very technical people. So actuaries are not very in the sense they are communicative while explaining their concept, but they're not very communicative as a salesperson would be. If you look at any organization, a salesperson will be speaking a lot, and he'll be interacting with many people because it's a need of the sales, right? As an actuary in a corporate, you kind of only want to do actuarial work and speak to very specific set of people. So if you look at many companies, actuaries are very, very reserved. So they only stick to their own domain. But once you set up your own practice, you kind of cannot have that trait. You have to be a salesperson combined with an actuary. I lost that shyness, I lost that reserved quality when I set up my own practice. I used to call 100 people every day saying that, see, I set up this practice. Do you think I can help you with any kind of work? And out of the 100 people, only 10 used to respond, and 90 will never, pick up my calls or call back. So you need a lot of patience, and you should never get dejected. You should have that positive feeling. You should have that positiveness around you and never feel negative about any kind of rejections. So once you have that, I think that's the most important trait. Never give up, perseverance, and be open. And these are the three things I think you need to have once you set up your own practice. So I just give an anecdote. So one of my, so I used to, I had this big list, and I was calling people all the time during my initial days of my entrepreneurship. And there was this person, I'll call him every year and say, hello, how are you? I said, I'm not calling you because I want business. I'm just calling you because I wanted to say hello. I don't want your business, but I just want to keep in touch. And that person said, Chitra, I really admire you. And then I know that, you're not asking me for business, but I admire your perseverance. And after some time, he gave me the business. So while always connecting with them, you're in their minds. And if there is an opportunity, 100% I'm sure they'll think of you first. So I think that is the most important trait, to keep connected and be positive.
Okay, very true. So, could you help us understand the global scope for Indian actuaries starting their own practice, and which region should they stand out?
I think now if you look, now for Indian actuaries, typically Middle East is quite a hot place, because Middle East now have adopted IFRS, and they do have something called the end of service benefit. So they are looking at Indian actuaries for for doing their work. And I also say Southeast Asia, mostly Philippines, Thailand, and all those. So these are more for with respect to actuarial valuations of employee benefits is what I would say. But having said this, I have worked with Aon and Mercer. So I've kind of connected with people in US, etc. So given the connection, I think if they have any kind of benefits work, I won't say actuarial work, because to work in UK and US, and in order to kind of you have regulatory requirement in those countries, you need to be having a certificate of practice in those countries. And if you're especially practicing in India, you get only a certificate of practice which is based more out of India. So I would say benefits work for other in UK, US, and Europe, and actuarial work in the Middle East and Southeast Asia.
Okay. So before we wrap up, let's do a small, quick, rapid fire round to end on a lighter note. Shall we start?
Sure.
What's one mistake to avoid when starting a firm?
You cannot be close-minded. So you have to do everything. In fact, I there was a time when I think my as an entrepreneur and starting up, I used to do a courier job. I used to do kind of typing. I used to do everything. I think you cannot have fixed mindset. You should be open to everything, is what I would say.
Would you recommend starting a firm right after qualifying, or wait?
I think definitely wait, because when you work in a corporate, you kind of understand the rules, the processes, and you understand the nuances. So you understand the basics, right? So once you are strong in the basics and you understand about how you need to deal with the clients, and you can afford to make mistakes, in fact, when you're working for someone. But after you gain that experience, once you set up your own practice, of course there'll be another different set of mistakes. At least you have the basic covered, and which helps you give a starting. So I would definitely say that work for a few years and then set it up.
What's the toughest challenge you faced running your own firm?
Yeah, especially getting the clients. So when I was working for Aon and Mercer, I had a name backing me. I had a name like Aon or Mercer. So clients are comfortable in giving a business with a name at the beat. While they know you're very good, while they knew that I was a very good actuary, and they used to call me for all advices, but they always were comfortable with a name at the back, right? They didn't want to kind of hand over their work to a person who did not have a name. I think that was the biggest challenge. And to establish that, yes, I can do it, and to have that credibility and confidence in me, so that took time. I think that was my biggest challenge, to make the clients believe that, yes, I can do it even without a name behind.
Okay. So, what is one networking tip for building a successful firm?
I think constantly keep in touch, all the time. So there are different ways of keeping in touch. Like in mailers, you go for conferences. I know you have your own, list. So for example, the people who are working in a company, they keep changing, right? They keep changing jobs. So when you're constantly keeping in touch, you not only get one company, because you'll get multiple companies in the companies where they have been working in. So I would think always keep in touch, irrespective of whether you get business or not. Keeping in touch is the most important thing, and that is communication.
What's one piece of advice for staying competitive internationally?
I think international, so it's a different thing altogether. You keep kind of giving them advice on their regulations. For example, in Middle East, so if you're going to give them write-ups about what's changing in the Middle East, so once you give your knowledge, whether it is needed or not, you keep on giving all those insights. I think then they know that there is a person who's keeping in touch with the laws of the land, and they will be more confident around it. And of course, I always say networking and keeping in touch, which is most important. Always you need to be in top of their mind when there's some kind of opportunity which arises, and they should think of you. And if you're in keeping in touch, I think that's nothing like it.
So before we end, what message would you like to give to the audience watching this podcast?
I'm assuming it's all the actuarial students.
Yes.
Right? So I think your perseverance and patience is the most important. Of course, passing those lengthy papers does require patience. It does take around more than 5 years to clear the papers. And also, a lot of the actuaries, the student actuaries, they want to grow, they want to jump ladders and be something very, very fast. I think they should probably take time to understand each area of operation or each technical aspect very, very clearly, because this is a time to learn technical aspects. Because once you go up, you will be looking at more broader areas rather than the technical nuances. I think they should focus on technical nuances first instead of trying to grow up very fast. So I would advise them to focus on technical aspects initial days, because you have a lot of time to, when you have a lengthy amount of time to grow and to reach in a very high place. But don't miss out on the technical aspects at the initial stages.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chitra, for all your valuable insights. So this is your host, Archita, signing off from Jai Hind College. Stay curious, stay consistent, keep learning, keep evolving.